Okay, I'm trying another print of this fan shroud, 2-in-1 fan shroud for an E3D version 6. Yes, I've got this fan on, blowing across this print. That's one reason I want a fan shroud, so hopefully I won't need to be using this desktop fan I'm using here. Yeah. Now the previous prints, it almost had like this print should have 2 tubes down. I'll show you this actually. So this is basically the previous print. It's got 2 like tubes, one each side. The air blows into there to a certain extent along here because this is all hollow, and down the ring. This is a 2-in-1 because it does split the air up, and the air comes across here for the E3D version 6. That clips on to the E3D version 6 40mm fan. I do recommend these fans if you want a quiet fan. This is a silent 4, but they do silent 6s, 8s I think, and even 120s I believe. But if you want a quiet fan, so long as it's got the air output that you need. But anyway, when I printed out this model, it seemed like there was a plate covering this tube, although that plate is not in the design. What I think I found, because quite often I'll use, well all the time just about, I'm using Tinkercad to design stuff. I'll download it, put it into NetFabbs, repair it, make sure there's, well, as much as I can. Then I'll upload it to a service called Printable. I'll put details about this repair method in the description, and then I'll put it back into NetFabbs after that and repair it again in a way, because even Printable does not repair it. But by using that method it normally corrects the files, but it seems that Printable for some reason is almost covering up this gap that was in the side. But anyway, so this model here is just using NetFabbs. See the supports there. Okay. As you can see, the fan blowing there, well, the edge of it. 1 hour 6 minutes, going fine. Very difficult to get in sometimes when the fan's here, this desktop fan. As I say, it was this left hand, well, I'm calling it the left hand tube if I'm looking from this side. Tube seemed to have a plate across it, and it seems to be the fix I was trying to do to make this like 100% printable in NetFabbs. I use NetFabbs, then I use Printable, then I use NetFabbs again usually. But I think it was Printable seemed to put a plate across and cover up a gap where the air should blow through there and into this like ring. This side was okay. I mean, I probably could actually, well, I'll try and show you that actually just now. So this is looking like from the fan's side, so the fan blows across the top onto the E3D version 6 sort of fins that this clips onto, but the air should also blow down inside the gap here. It seemed to be this side that a definite, almost like a plate, and I thought, is it supportable? I've tried pushing it out, it's quite strong. And it seems to be that Printable has put this plate in. It's not in the design, not in Tinkercad, and it's not even after I've cleaned it up in NetFabbs. So clean it up in NetFabb's the file. Let's get this right. Download it from Tinkercad. Clean it up in NetFabb's. Automatic sort of cleaning usually. Sometimes a bit of manual stuff, but mainly automatic. Then I'll upload that to make printable. Because even when it's cleaned up in NetFabb's the first time, it's still showing errors. So I'll load it up to make printable. Let that sort of correct the file. Download it from make printable, and NetFabb still shows errors if I put it into NetFabb, so run NetFabb's again after make printable. Tell you about this down here. And that usually sorts out the prints, but in this case make printable, it seems to put like a plate that covers across here, and that would stop the air blowing into there definitely. So that's not ideal. So here I am in make printable. And luckily it is possible to select the original or the fixed model over there. This is the original model. And you can see a definite sort of tube there, which is what I want, where the air can blow into. Yeah. Now I'm moving about using the mouse scroll wheel, left, right keys, and zooming in such like. Now let's look at the fixed model. And if you look here, it seems like there is a almost flat plate being put in. It's not curved down there, so no air can really blow around there. Now this is not a complaint about Make Printable. Make Printable does a very good job at repairing files. Here you can see it's hard to show, but I think you might be able to just make out there is a plate seems to have been put into the file, the STL file. And it will print out that when I download it, so that is no good. So with this model I'm printing out here now, I've just used NetFabb, I'm not using Make Printable on this. So the file itself does have a few, well, errors, smaller errors I would class them as. In the STL file, a few smaller errors. But I think it'd still be printable even with those small errors. And I've also tried, was it a slicer that has a repair option. That doesn't really resolve the problems of it being like a poorly quality file. Now apart from the file being poor quality, the design is not the neatest. It's still got like bumps, especially on the inside edge of the fan, where the fan goes. I'll show you that. Particularly down, I think this side and the inside this side, it's a bit rough. But so long as it does the job I want it to, which is basically keep PLA cool as it's printed, so to surround the E3D version 6 hot end, like the ring that's inside here. See the circular ring there, hopefully. It's this sort of ring, the air blows all around the E3D version 6 hot end. This notch here is for the cables of the E3D version 6. But it was a file, the repair that's supposed to repair it has made it worse actually, on Make Printable. But that's not. Now that's not a complaint, because normally using that system, which I'll talk about here, to repair files, repairs very bad files, works very well. But for some reason it's putting this plate on, I don't know why. Anyway, I'm going to come back in about an hour or two. I want to see how it's progressing. I want to try and see this, if I can, over that side to see if it is starting to print the plate. But I've had a look at the file and it looks okay, apart from this, as I say, some errors in the STL file, but the NetFabb's show up as red. Okay, but they're generally smaller ones. I think it should be printable, not cause any major problems. Okay, I'll come back in about an hour or two, I think. We'll see how it's progressing then. As I say, I've got this desktop fan blowing a breeze across there. That seems to work well. Seems to stop curling. It's hard to tell because this is quite a smallish print. It doesn't cover a large area of the bed. Well, it's 2 hours 24 minutes. If you hear any buzzing, it's because the fan is quite close to the camera, the desktop fan I'm using. I'm trying to see if there's a line across that, like a tube on the, that would be on the left when I'm looking this way or not. It's not in the design, and it's not in this file here, so this does have supports on everywhere on this print. Of course, having a fan shroud on here will, to a certain extent, make it harder to see print from this angle I'm showing at now. Well, I think you might be able to see that the supports that hold up the sort of clips that go on to the clips, yeah, that hold, well, fasten it to the E3D version 6 that come off the bed there. I did that before. This is a PEI sheet. I mean, it survived that before. I hope it can survive this time. Let's have a look at the time. So the time is 3 hours 35 minutes into this print. Okay, it's finished. 5 hours 4 minutes. So plenty of time to cool down. Turn the fan off. Shift it up the road. Comes off the bed quite easily. I always like to show you the bottom first. This is PEI sheet. This has been printed on, not been laid too well. So this dent here is for the wires on the E3D version 6 to go through here, clip on. I need to get the supports off and see how well that tube is, because on the previous model it was pretty blocked some in the software as far as I understand it, but I never used that same software. So these are supports to support these like catches coming out there. Those come off extremely easily. And you can see how easy those will crack. Normally I use long nose pliers. It's harder for me to do this in like real life in a way, because with the camera here it makes it harder to do. But basically I keep on going at it with some long nose pliers, pulling bits of plastic off, twisting sometimes. I have some tweezers as well. I can sometimes get the points in smaller parts, like into there, and yep, that seems clear going into that tube. That seems clear going into that tube. It's a bit more tidying up, and then I'll be testing it out. So as I say, that's just over 5 hours, 5 hours 4 minutes to be precise on the display here.